Have you ever struggled with decision fatigue? Or maybe you really just struggle with decisions. The reality is that making decisions can be hard, but not just because we might be tired from all the decisions a day requires, but also because we're not sure what is the right thing or what is the best thing. Today's episode is titled Every Yes is Also a No: How to Choose Wisely Without Guilt, because there is a way to make decisions that are best for you, and having that formula can not only ease your decision fatigue, but also give you more confidence with every answer and decision that you make. So let's dive in. Do you ever wish you had more time just to breathe, think, or even catch up? Does your to-do list feel like it's never ending, no matter how hard you try? Have you ever looked around and thought, why does everyone else seem to have it all together and I'm barely holding on? If so, you're in the right place. Welcome to A Fresh Start. I'm Shannon Marquita, your habit and mindset coach, here to help you build healthier habits, feel more like yourself again, and stop burning out in the name of productivity. Trust me, I've lived the pressure of trying to prove myself, earn my worth, and juggle all the things. I know what it's like to look successful on paper, but still feel completely drained inside. That's why this podcast isn't just about information, it's about transformation. So stop scrolling, stop comparing, and stop trying to buy your way to balance. This is your space to slow down, reset, and focus on the one thing that will truly give you change: you. So let's get into today's episode. I want to start this episode off by emphasizing that decision making is hard and it's also exhausting. And our goal is to get better, but no one is ever perfect. And so the goal is to have more confidence in your decisions and to get through them with better ease. The truth is, saying yes sometimes feels like the easy decision or the right decision because we don't want to let people down, or we feel like we're on the spot and we haven't had time to think about it, or maybe we don't have an excuse that makes our no feel valid. And so I want to reassure you that your no is valid. Your no, if you need to give it, is due to your priorities and you knowing your life. When we say no, we are also saying yes to something else. And that is a big perspective shift that I want you, if you need to hit pause and sit with it for a minute, do it. Because sometimes we feel like yes is the easy decision and no is the hard one. But really, no can be easy when we know our priorities and we know what we're working towards. And we know that by saying no, it allows us to say yes to things that are important to us and in our lives. It goes so much simpler. So I want to start this episode by asking you, do you know your priorities? You can look at the different areas of your life: faith, family, friendships, finances, your health, your fitness, all the different areas. When you have clear goals and priorities, it makes the other areas a lot simpler to make decisions. If you know that you have a best friend date and you're asked to work late, you know, I can't do that because I have a prior commitment and I want to honor that relationship because we've been trying to plan this forever. You might instead offer to come in early to work on whatever is necessary. Or you might talk with your coworkers to brainstorm, are you able to do this for me and I can trade another time when you're needing to work late or on a project because I have a prior commitment that I can't afford to miss. Now, you might be able to reschedule. Only you know that. But putting things in our calendar and having strong commitments is a way to have our priorities extremely clear. Same with finances. As we head into the holiday season, financial spending, financial stability, financial responsibility becomes a little fluid for people. You know what your budget is. You know what your priorities are. Having a clear budget, having a plan makes the holidays so much easier and smoother because you know what you can and can't say yes to. If you say yes to buying extra gifts that weren't part of your budget or the plan, you know that you're going to have to be saying no to financial peace because of the extra stress it's going to cause. Maybe you need to move some money around. Maybe you need to take some money out of savings that you weren't planning. Maybe you decide to get a second job for the holidays. All of those things are okay as long as they align with your priorities. I just don't want you to have your back against the wall, feeling stressed unnecessarily as if the holidays came out of nowhere and surprised you, even though you know what month it is now and that we are headed in full swing to the holiday season. So having a plan with eyes wide open, making decisions to honor your priorities and plan allows you to say yes to peace, to memories, to values, to your priorities, because you're saying no to the unnecessary. Just because that couple $100 gift wasn't initially on your list doesn't mean that you need to get it, or your loved one or friend or whatever their relation is to you will love you or value you less. Things don't help strengthen relationships. Things are fun. Experiences are fun. But remember, things fade. Experiences sometimes fade in the memory, although I'm all about the experiences and I'm a huge fan of having that because it's quality time, you get to travel, all the things, even if it's a staycation. Just a side note for you. But I don't want you to stretch yourself so thin because you feel like you're having to keep up with the people next to you or be showy and try to overextend yourself. You knowing that you're enough just as you are, and that yes, giving is a blessing and it's fun, but not at the cost and expense of your own peace and by not honoring your priorities. Same thing goes for scheduling. You schedule what is important to you, the things you attend, projects, as well as rest. If you have scheduled in rest and something comes up that you feel like you have to say yes to, I need you to remember that you're also saying no to the recharge time for maybe your relationships, if you were going to have some quality relaxation time, or if you were just going to use that to reset and recharge your sanity from maybe being go recently or the season that you may be headed into. So I would encourage you, if you have to say yes to something that takes away from something else, to try and reschedule it, or ask yourself, do I really need to be saying yes to attending this event or get together? Or is this something that, yes, it would be fun to attend and be a part of, but it's okay if I don't too. We can't do everything. We can't be everywhere, which is why learning that no is a complete sentence and an acceptable answer. And you do not have to validate your answers, because as long as you know they align with your priorities and you are delivering them in a respectful manner, that is enough. And the people who have healthy boundaries will understand this. Everyone might not be happy about your answer, especially if you are a recovering people pleaser, but by honoring your priorities, you are staying in alignment with what is important to you and what you value, and it makes your yes and your no a lot easier. You also have to consider the cost of every answer that you give. Yes, we want to make sure that they align with our priorities, but we also need to be aware of what is our answer costing us. Is it costing us time we don't have, energy we don't have, and money, like we already talked about, that we may not have budgeted or planned for this expense? You don't have extra time in a day. We all have the same 24 hours. How we spend them matters. So allocating to our commitments, to our requirements, to our priorities, there is wiggle room here and there, but sometimes it means that we also have to shift, which means by saying yes to something, we might actually have to go back and say no to something else. And sometimes that's a letdown. Maybe you had date night planned and you have to say, oh, I have this last minute meeting that I can't miss. That affects relationships. That is something that I would encourage you to try to limit doing. And if you do need to do it, to discuss why it needs to happen so it doesn't make the other person feel unimportant or undervalued. And also propose an alternate time that you could move the initial event to, whether it's date night, whether it just was some quality low-key time, because that is healthy for your sanity and for your relationships. And we are here for all around healthy habits, and also for your energy. We only have so much energy. We wake up and we feel unstoppable. And somehow by the afternoon, I don't know about you, but I often wonder, how come I'm not as far through my to-do list as I expected to be? I thought I'd be done and already tackling tomorrow's tasks. But it's human nature that we underestimate how long something will take, and we overestimate our ability in a day. So the more that we can have realistic expectations of what events and projects require of us, the better we will be able to plan our time and energy. And so I want you to practice saying no without guilt and without over-explaining yourself. I don't mean that you need to be short, abrupt, or rude, but knowing that you have confidence in your answer because you know what your priorities are and you have clearly laid out your values makes it a lot easier when people ask anything of you to be able to say yes or no without worry. You're not seeking others' approval. And if you do feel like they disapprove of your decision and you do value the relationship deeply, you can say, I can tell you're disappointed. I'm sorry that it feels like I'm letting you down, but I have to say no because I already committed to X. Or because I already am low on energy and I need to have time for myself. I would love to reschedule. I would love to be a part of the next event. Please be sure to include me. Or maybe we could still get together, or maybe we could still work on this project, but at a different time or in a different setting. Your priorities and values matter, not more than others and not less than, just period. You matter, and you need to know that it's not a comparison. It's not your responsibility to make others happy or to accept you. You have to be at peace with your decisions, and you have to be proud of the decisions that you're making and how you're using your resources, your time, your energy, and your money with the people that you love, with the things that you value, with the things that you've been entrusted with. I heard a saying before that says, trade money for time, but not time for money, because you're going to run out of time first. So you have to value your resources all around. Every exchange, every project, all of it requires time, energy, as well as often finances. So you need to know what your values are, what your priorities are, and what things are costing you. Because then when you're faced with a decision, you will have a much easier time with your answer of yes or no, because these are clear and at the forefront of your mind. And if you're struggling in this area, whether having the confidence to decipher your values or priorities or stating them, or even holding true to them and your boundaries, go grab one of my coaching consults. We can talk about these different areas in your life so that we can map it out and increase your confidence in every area. I hope you're doing well, and I hope you're having a great week. Talk to you soon. I'm so glad you're here today. This conversation matters, and I know it's going to make a difference in how you move forward. If you'll do me a favor and take a minute to share this episode with a friend and leave a review, your words help others find their way too. For more resources, next steps, and to work together, you can head to my website, shannonmarquita.com. That's MARQUETA. Everything you need is waiting for you there. And if you're looking for honest conversation and extra encouragement with people doing the same kind of work, come join my free Facebook community. The link is in the show notes. Until next time, trust your pace, protect your peace, and remember, you are not behind. Take what you need from these episodes and know that a fresh start is always possible for you. I'm so proud of you. I'm thankful for you, and I look forward to talking with you again soon.